Uh, Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start our session for today. My name is Ahmed Junaid Salik. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I'm based in Toronto, Canada. I will request all the members to mute your mics so that there is no interruption. Thank you very much. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and member in good standing of ICCRC, which is the regulatory body for immigration consultants in Canada. I'm also a member of the CAPIC, which is the Canadian Association of Professional Immigration Consultants, the body of the Association of the Professional Immigration Consultants in Canada. I'm also a licensed Canadian recruiter and consultant for Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program since its inception in 2014. That's why my number is quite earlier number, which is 12090. In addition to my Canadian qualifications, I am a qualified education agent for Australia as well. I'm a British Council trained and certified agent since 2002. And then I'm I hold immigration practitioner's diploma from CSIC Canada. Then I hold diploma of international education services from PIRE Australia. I also hold a certificate 3 in business administration international education from PIRE Australia and a diploma of business management from ICM UK. These are my professional qualifications basically in addition to my university degrees which are not which don't need to be mentioned here basically, but my over 20 years experience in this profession has diversified kind of experiences since beginning, and for the last 8 years I'm more focused on Canadian immigration and all areas of Canadian immigration basically. So objectives of the today's meeting and training are to familiarize our recruitment partners with various streams of Canadian immigration, about our procedures of handling client inquiries, how your clients' inquiries will be dealt with by us, and how we manage client applications in our online client file management portal. So we will give you a review of all these today, but majority of the portion will be on the various streams of Canadian immigration today. Why you should select or people select Canada for their immigration or as their second home, basically. It's not a second home. People make it their first home when they immigrate to Canada. Uh, there are several reasons. First one is the Canada is the second largest country in the world after Russia. It occupies more than 50% of the North American continent. Uh, it is on north of USA. The whole area is occupied by Canada. So Canada has oceans on its three sides. Towards the east is the Atlantic Ocean, in the north is the Arctic Ocean, and towards the west is the Pacific Ocean. Towards south is whole USA, which is the longest border in the world, around 3,500 kilometers. Canadian immigration level has been increasing day by day, every year. The number of immigrants who come to Canada increases, and people from around the world, they are moving to Canada. During the last few years, we have seen this increase more, and due to moving of people to Canada from all parts of the world, Canada has become a multicultural society where people from different parts of the world uh, are living as one community, one nation, and it has become a multicultural society now. The standard of living is very high in Canada. Even the average class people, they have the same type of facilities as a rich person may have. So the everybody has a pretty standard living standard. The society in Canada is quite tolerant. It is a multicultural society, so we can say that it is the most tolerant society. Though sometimes there are some incidences, but they're very few and far between. Normally, it is a very tolerant and multicultural society. In Canada, there are social benefits for people as well, for Canadians basically. There are, if you lose your job, you get the employment insurance, particularly these days during the corona pandemic, COVID issues. So those people who lost their jobs, government was paying them employment insurance. In addition, if you don't have a job for 6 months, then you can go on social assistance, or if you cannot work, you cannot you can go on social assistance, and government gives you a monthly grant basically, so that you can survive. You get childcare benefits as well. If you have children under the age of 18, you get monthly benefits, childcare benefits, which is basically a handsome amount for children under 13. Sorry, children under 6 years of age. Canadians get approximately 13,500 per year, and for children from 6 to 18, that amount is about 12,000, depending upon your last year's income. Then Canadians get free health care, there's free hospitalization, there is free doctor's consultation. If you are hospitalized, all the medications are free, all the treatments are free. In addition to that, Canadians get free education at school level. Up to grade 12, education is free in public schools. After grade 12, when children of Canadian people, they go to colleges or universities, they have grants and different kinds of loans available for them, which help them to complete their Canadian education. We are receiving some people are saying that voice is a little low. I think it will be better now. So you can increase the volume of your speakers as well, but hopefully it will be better. We are going to discuss various immigration streams for Canada, which are permanent. There are two main streams, the permanent residency stream and the temporary residency stream for Canada. How people can become permanent residents and how they can become temporary resident, and later on they can move towards the permanent residence. There are in fact 89 routes to become a permanent resident of Canada. These some are major routes, some are minor routes. So we will discuss some important routes today. I will give you a familiarization of some of the major routes to become a Canadian permanent resident. The major avenues are the skilled workers, investor class, entrepreneur or business people, family sponsorship, startup visas, self-employed visas, and refugee and asylum seekers. These are the major categories through which people can become permanent residents of Canada. The first one we discussed was the skilled worker. Skilled worker are people who become permanent residents of Canada on the basis of their education, their experience, their language skills, their age, their spouse qualification and spouse language skills. They get points for their relatives in Canada. They get points for a job offer. If they have Canadian experience, they get additional points for that skill. And if they have Canadian spouse has the Canadian work experience, and Canadian education. So you get additional points for these skills, and you then compete in the pool. The different entire categories of which the skilled workers can apply. They are federal skilled worker category, provincial nomination program, Canadian experience class, federal skilled trades program, Atlantic immigration, rural and northern immigration, municipal immigration, which is coming up very soon, caregivers category, Quebec selected workers, and the truck drivers. These are the major skilled worker categories under which foreign nationals can apply for Canadian permanent residence. Excuse me. Now, express entry, you might have heard this terminology since 2015. This is very common. Express entry is not any stream basically. Express entry is an application management system for processing certain types of Canadian immigration applications. There are 4 types of applications which are processed through the express entry stream, which are federal skilled worker, provincial nomination, not all provincial nominations, there are some, Canadian experience class, and the federal skilled trades program. These are the 4 categories of applications for skilled workers who can apply for Canadian permanent residence through the express entry stream. Let's review the requirement for the federal skilled worker category. The applicants need to have education, preferably master degree, or at least 2 post-secondary qualifications. An IELTS 6 band in each skill is the minimum requirement. Ideally, it should be CLB 9, which comes to IELTS listening 8 and 7 in each other skill. Up to 45 applicants can get points, but after 29, in the FSW, they start losing points after 35, but in express entry, they start losing points after 29. So we consider the ideal age is 29, after which they start losing points in the express entry pool. Minimum experience of 1 year is required, but ideally it should be 3 years in order to achieve skills transferability points in express entry. Spouse IELTS is also beneficial and gives you additional points. Applicants are advised to have get their spouse appeared for the IELTS exam, IELTS or CELPIP exam, and get CLB 5 or maybe more. If you have blood relative in Canada, you get extra points for that category. And if you have a job offer, you still get extra points for the FSW. The qualifying points for FSW are 67 out of 100. Then some provincial nomination programs, program applications. This is the second category after federal skilled worker. FSW is the most competitive category, after which there are different provincial programs. Each province has its own program depending on the various types of opportunities available in those provinces. Each province accepts foreign nationals for permanent residence in those provinces. First, the province nominates, and after that, the federal government will approve their visa so that the foreign nationals they can come. Under this category, if you are nominated by a province, then you are supposed to live in that province for up to 3 years minimum. These are occupation restricted basically. Only people whose occupation is in demand in that province, only then they will be nominated by the province. There are different types of streams in the PNP. Some are with job offer, some are without job offer. Normally, we process applications without the job offer stream because they have good chances. Getting a job is a bit tricky and complicated process, and it is not always possible to get a job in Canada from abroad. I will discuss that aspect later on. And low IELTS is also acceptable in the PNPs, but it is very tough to compete otherwise. Because after the federal category, PNP is the second most attractive category under which foreign nationals they are applying, and particularly the without job offer stream. There is another stream, Canadian experience class. Foreign nationals, including students and work permit holders who have achieved a 1 year experience, job experience in Canada, they can apply under a separate category of Canadian experience class, in which the IELTS requirement is a bit low as compared to the FSW. And this CEC has a different selection criteria and different invitation rounds as well for in the express entry. Recently, we have seen several rounds of express entry draws in which CEC applicants were invited for permanent residents of Canada. Then is the federal skilled trade program. So people who have technical skills, who have technical education and technical experience, they can apply under this stream. Applicants must have secondary or post-secondary technical education with 3 to 5 years or maybe more relevant work experience. Maybe supervised, maybe unsupervised experience, that is a requirement. Then applicants have to do licensing in Canada. They have to challenge an exam. Most of the licensing bodies, they have an exam. Some can exempt the exam as well. Some provinces have the exam. So applicants have to come to Canada, challenge the exam, and after that they become eligible to apply for permanent residence under the FSTP stream. The IELTS requirement is also low in this category. The steps in this process are applicant must do IELTS and ECA, and besides that he has to be registered with the relevant licensing body, which are each province in Canada has its own licensing body. So we help the client with choosing the most appropriate province and most lenient province where they can get their licensing, and after the licensing they can apply for the licensing. Means they have to challenge the exam. They have to take the licensing exam in Canada. They have to come to Canada on a visitor visa and take the exam, and after the licensing they will apply for permanent residence of Canada. Uh, Provincial nomination. Okay, so we discussed the provincial nomination. It's a highly competitive stream basically. Uh, there may be streams are with job offer, without job offer, and some provinces invite applicants directly from the express entry pool. Like Ontario invites people directly from the express entry pool. Alberta and Nova Scotia do the same. Another stream is the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Project. So in this stream, there are 4 Atlantic provinces of Canada: Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. Due to their low population and low population growth rates, federal government has announced a very soft kind of immigration for these provinces, in which uh, employers in these provinces can offer a job to foreign nationals without the LMIA. So only the applicant, the employer has to be registered with the government, and they can offer a job. And with that job offer, applicants can apply for a work permit and PR simultaneously. They can start working immediately, and besides that, the PR application will be processed within 1 year. The IELTS requirement for the Atlantic immigration is also low. It varies. It depends on the type of the job you are doing. So, but for most of the occupations, the IELTS requirement is 5 bands. Another stream which was recently announced and now it's operational is the Rural and Northern Immigration, RNIP. This is a federal program under which 11 communities across Canada, they are participating. This program is again job restricted, occupation restricted and job offer restricted. You need a job offer from a Canadian employer in that community. So each community has its own requirements, its own demand, and we help the applicants how to explore the demand, which community is suitable for them, and which community will be more responsive to offer them a job and the nomination. Most of the programs in these communities, they require low IELTS, low qualifications, because these communities are really short of people and they need people to work in those communities. Students who have studied in universities and colleges in those communities, they have the opportunity to apply directly for PR. This is another unique thing which foreign nationals and recruiters should consider while placing a student. Give them the option to study in universities and colleges in those communities, so that once they complete their education, they can directly apply for nomination without any job offer. This is a good attraction for students rather than coming to big cities and after and then they are struggling for a job and experience. We have seen so many foreign students here who don't get a job and their postgrad work permit finishes up, and after that they struggle for their permanent residence. So this is the best option for them to study in those communities, and after that study for 2 years, get a, and then apply for permanent residence. In addition to the federal program of the rural immigration, provincial program for rural immigration has also been announced by the Ontario province. Currently, there are 3 communities included in that stream, but again, they require the job from the applicants to have a job, and then they can apply for nomination. Streams of permanent residence, again, the municipal immigration, which is coming soon. We don't have details at the moment, but it is coming soon. And then, but again, it will be job offer based, and it will be again in the further smaller communities and towns. Job offer. So job offer is basically most of the people from abroad, they contact us and ask for the job offer. Applicants, they contact us for job offer because people in the express entry pool, they get 50 points or 200 points if they get a job offer. For a managerial level, senior managerial level job offer, you get 200 points, and for other jobs, you get 50 points for your express entry pool, CRS pool, and you come up in this CRS pool, and you have more chances of getting an invitation. So what we help our clients, we help them file their job exploratory visit visa. They come to Canada on a visitor visa. We help them with their first we help we file their visitor visa, and we convince the visa officer to grant them visa because there are some legal matters, legal flexibilities involved, which we have to raise in our submission, and we ask the visa officer to consider those and grant the visa, and then they have very high chances of getting a visa. So once they get a visa, they come to Canada. In the visa application, we also put some invitation letters, 2 to 3 invitation letters, which help the visa process and getting the visa. So once the applicant gets the visa, we help them with their resume making, how to apply for a job, how the interview is conducted in Canada, what are things the employer considers, and they should be applicants should be very particular while they go for an interview, while they submit their resume, while they submit their their job application letter, etc. So in that way, we help them maximize their chances of getting a job, and we may connect them with some recruiters as well, which will be helpful to them to get a job. With a job offer, we can apply for the applicant's work permit while in Canada. If they are here in Canada, it's a one-day process. We take them to the Canadian border with the US, and by flag polling, we apply for their work permit, and applicants can get a work permit there and then on the same day. Applicant can start working in Canada, and simultaneously we submit their PR application, which continues besides their work permit application, their work permit, which they get, and they continue working in Canada. Another category is the caregivers category. Again, this category requires a job offer. The applicants, they don't need a Canadian experience for submission of a work permit or PR application. This is a new program launched last year in July. Before that, the applicants had to have a Canadian experience in order to submit a PR application. But under this new program, as there is shortage of caregivers in Canada and government wants more foreign nationals, eligible foreign nationals to come to Canada, acquire a 1 year experience, and then their PR application will be processed. So applicants should have 1 year post-secondary education, 5 band IELTS, and at least 1 year child care experience as a nanny or caregiver or a nurse or a teacher, maybe primary school teacher, maybe daycarer, etc. So they can be eligible for applying under this category. We submit work permit and PR applications both for the applicant, the spouse of the applicant, and children of the applicant. The work permit is initially granted, and the PR application reference is allotted to them. Once the applicant is in Canada and they complete 1 year experience, we submit the experience to immigration department, and then they start processing the PR application for the applicant. In this category, the applicants come to Canada. They have the opportunity to come to Canada. The spouse is on open work permit. Children are eligible to get free education in Canada while the parent is on a work permit. So children up to grade 12, they can study for free. There is one more thing. This work permit for the applicant is a open restricted work permit. It is open work permit that applicant can work with any employer, although they need a job offer from the employer, but it is LMIA is not a requirement for this kind of job. No LMIA, but it is open job offer, but restricted in a sense that they have to work in the same field, the caregiver field, and only then they will be eligible for their PR application. Another stream is the Quebec selected workers. Quebec selects its immigrants itself. There is an agreement with the federal government through which the Quebec will select its immigrants. The best way is, in fact, this category requires French language skills from the foreign nationals. Only then they can be selected by the Quebec province. So international students are advised to study in the Quebec province. There are a lot of attractions for studying in the Quebec province. One main attraction is, besides their major studies in the Quebec province, students have the opportunity to learn French language for free. And besides learning the language, they get a stipend of $800 per month. That is a great attraction for them. They can do part-time job as well, up to 20 hours job. And in 20 hours, they can manage up to $2,000. They can earn $2,000 plus 800, so $2,800 a month. In addition, they get free bus passes as well to travel in Quebec, in the Quebec province, from for their daily route traveling. So this is a great attraction for international students to study for 2 years in Quebec, and after that they get a 3 years work permit, in which after working for 6 months at any level, any work level, maybe on office job or maybe at up to NOC level C. So up to level C job, which requires a secondary school diploma, like those kind of jobs. So even if you have 6 months experience of working at level C, they can apply for the Quebec nomination. And then after getting the Quebec nomination, which is this CSQ, they can apply for permanent residence. So this is a fast route for international students to become a permanent resident of Canada. Another attractive stream is the truck drivers stream. Foreign nationals who have experience of long haul trucks, they can come to Canada on a visitor visa. They are required to get the licensing training for the A to Z license, and then they, after getting the license, they can apply for a job. There is a great shortage of truck drivers in Canada because Canada has huge business with US. Canada exports materials, agriculture products, manufactured goods, food, etc. to US, and from US, a lot of things are imported as well. So for that purpose, a lot of truck drivers are always in demand. In 2 provinces, at least at the moment, there are specific categories for truck drivers, under which the provinces nominate them to apply for permanent residence. If you have a job offer, or if you have the experience in Canada, 6 to 9 months experience, in some provinces it is 6, in another province it is 9 months. If you have this much experience of working in that particular province, you can apply for permanent residence of Canada. But before accepting any case, we make sure that the applicant has at least high school diploma and IELTS 5. These were all the skilled worker categories of Canada, which require the applicants to have a degree, age, experience, languages, skills, etc. Now we come on to the second category, which is the investor category. This category is currently only available in the Quebec province of Canada. This is ideal for very high net worth clients who have net worth of over 2 million Canadian dollars. They need to show 3 years management experience. They should invest 1.2 million in Canada with the provincial government, and that's 1.2 million will be refunded to them after 6 years without any interest. Alternatively, they can purchase the financing from banks for 1.2 million, and the cost of financing is 350,000 Canadian dollars, which is a non-refundable amount. The whole family gets direct permanent residence of Canada, and there are no conditions on them to fulfill, to do any business or do any further investment like that. You just get permanent residence of Canada, and you are free to do anything here. The next category is the entrepreneur category, the businessman category. Under these, there are several categories under the entrepreneur. The first one is the intra-company transfer. Intra-company transfer is that a foreign company which is engaged in the service providing services, or an exporter or manufacturer maybe, they can start a branch of their business in Canada. They need to register their business, start a business here. They can transfer a technical or managerial service level staff to Canada, to the Canadian branch on a work permit. Initially, the work permit will be for 1 year, and later on it is extendable for 2 years, and 3 terms of 2 years basically. After completing 1 year in Canada, the applicants can apply for the permanent residence of Canada under the Canadian experience class, which we discussed earlier. So this is ideal for the businessmen who have established businesses abroad and want to move their business to Canada, as well as one of their key staff or maybe the owner of the business can apply and get himself or herself transferred here and get the permanent residence in future. Owner operator is still another class in which a foreign national will buy a Canadian business, may start a business, or invest in a Canadian business and become an active partner of the business. This category requires active management of the business. Then we have, once the business is initiated on visitor visa, we apply for them the LMIA and then the work permit. So with that LMIA, applicants will get 200 points. That has an additional advantage that they will get 200 points for the express entry. If foreign nationals, particularly in the GCC countries, Gulf countries, UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc., who are in their 40s, early 40s, or around 40 or mid 40s, maybe up to near 50, and they have 300 plus, up to 300 or 300 plus CRS score. So they have this opportunity to get 200 points and get the Canadian permanent residence. They need to invest at least $250 to $300,000 in that business because this requires substantial investment. And another great advantage for this stream is that they can start business anywhere in Canada. This is a federal immigration category, not a provincial. Applicants can start their business anywhere in Canada. Another stream of the entrepreneur is the provincial streams. Basically, they can start a business or invest in a Canadian business. They can invest in a Canadian business. It depends on the location of the location and the stream. Some streams of this entrepreneur category require only $100,000 investment, which are regional communities, small communities of a few thousand people, maybe 50,000 people, 70,000 people, or 30,000 people, where you can buy a business of $100,000. There may be bigger communities where you have to do huge investment of $600,000 basically. These are in British Columbia and the Vancouver and the Toronto areas basically, which are the most populous areas, and they require substantial investment in any business. So it can be up to $600,000. So we have some good investment opportunities of $200,000 near the major communities. Under these categories, 3 to 5 years business management experience is also required. You have to show the business management experience. This experience may be of your own business or someone else's business, in which any job in which the organization is dealing with some profitability, that experience will be counted. Initially, the applicant will be on a work permit, and once the business is established, then they can apply for PR. The work permit is normally for 2 years duration. Family sponsorship. This also leads to permanent residence. You have to be very careful in this because they ask us about the sponsorship of their sisters, brothers, etc. No, sisters and brothers, they cannot be sponsored for Canadian permanent residence unless there is a clause that they are the only orphan child left in their home country and they have no parents. Only in that case, a Canadian can sponsor their orphaned sibling. Otherwise, normal sponsorship includes sponsorship for your spouse, common law partner, conjugal partner, dependent children of the sponsor or dependent children of the spouse who is being sponsored, parents of the Canadian, dependent children of your parents and your grandparents. So these people can be sponsored for permanent residence of Canada. Another category is the startup visa. Startup visa is not very common, not very popular, but it is a very attractive stream for specialized people who have a unique business idea. And that business idea is when presented to the investors in Canada, investors invest in the business idea, and if the investors approve the idea and the application is accepted, then the foreign national can come to Canada within 6 months. It is a very fast stream, but the business idea has to be very unique. Only then they can be accepted for the funding and the nomination. One very attractive stream is self-employed stream. This is for sportsmen, for athletes, players, and artists. Artists could be film artist, dramatist, music artist, uh, maybe a director of a film, composer of a film, who have performed at international level or who have produced films or dramas at international level. So such people, they can be considered for permanent residence of Canada. Currently, they can come to Canada within 2 years. Normal processing time is 2 years currently, as per the immigration department website data. But they do need to show some IELTS, which is 5.5. A degree is not required in this case. No formal education, no age limit. Processing is within 2 years. However, they can come to Canada on a work permit. If we have to make a separate application for a work permit, and if the officer considers that application compelling, they can get a work permit. So yes, this is a good route for sportsmen, athletes, and artists. Asylum and refugee claimants, people who have a fear of persecution in their home country or country of citizenship due to their race, religion, nationality, religious and social beliefs and political beliefs. So such people can be considered for permanent residence of Canada, and they can be given asylum. For this purpose, either they should be in Canada and apply for their asylum or refugee claim here. Otherwise, they should be referred by some refugee organization like the UNHCR, and for that purpose, they must be outside their country of citizenship or country of residence. In this category, the full family gets permanent residence of Canada. These are all the permanent residence categories of immigration for Canada. Now we come on to the temporary residence. Students is the first category in the temporary residence who can become permanent resident in future. Students can come to Canada for studies from K-12 schools, from KG, kindergarten to grade 12. Any level students can come. They can, if students are minor, they can be accompanied by their parent on a visitor visa. That is a visitor visa, but it is called visitor record basically, and they get a stay of 1 year. Parents get a stay of 1 year. Normally, students who apply for studies at school level from kindergarten to grade 12, they get yearly study permit and visa. So every year they have to renew their study permit. Students can come for studies at community and career colleges. Community colleges are public colleges, public funded. Career colleges are private colleges. Some career colleges have the privilege of these students have the privilege of getting a postgrad work permit. Not all career college students get postgrad work permit. Community colleges, yes, they are public funded and they get these students get the postgrad work permit. And the university students, yes, they do get the postgrad work permit. We will discuss about that in next slide. Temporary for students who want to come to Canada, they must have 50% and above grades in their last exam, IELTS or any other acceptable language test. These days, different tests are being accepted due to the COVID-19 situation. Applicant must have been admitted in a designated learning institution in Canada, and they have good financial standing in order to afford their studies in Canada. So these are the major requirements for a student visa for a student, and then a lot of other things are required while we compile their application. There are two streams currently for the SDS. 2 years back, SDS stream was introduced. Currently, there are 7 countries included in this SDS stream. This is a privileged visa processing stream for good quality students. The regular stream runs parallel to this as well. Under the SDS, a student needs to show 6-band IELTS in each skill. Currently, they only accept IELTS. No other test is in the ISCC list. Students should have at least 60% marks or grades in their last exam. Admission in a DLI, they must have paid a full 1-year fee. They have secured GIC, which is their living expenses for the first year. The principal student should have $10,000, should secure $10,000 in the GIC, spouse $4,000, and for each dependent child $3,000. This is an attraction that foreign national students who want to come to Canada, they can bring their spouse and children as well when they apply. And in the SDS, if they apply together, the spouse and children will get the privileged fast processing of their application. Upfront medical is required for this SDS stream. There is under the current circumstances, last week, Minister of Immigration announced some further flexibility for SDS and other students who have been accepted at a DLI in Canada. They have made a 2-stage process, visa process. First is the eligibility stream. Second is the admissibility stream. If a student has been accepted in a DLI and they have the funds available for their studies, then the applicant will get a positive eligibility review and they can start their classes. Classes will be online. Most of the Canadian institutions have made this fall 2020 semester online. Students will study online from September till December, and from January they will give new set of instructions. Even those students who have their visa issued before 18 March 2020, they, although they say if you have secured visa, student visa before 18 March, you can come to Canada, but there is a catch in that as well. It requires you that if your course requires in-class presence, only then you can come. Otherwise, you cannot come to Canada because there are currently travel restrictions. If your course is being offered online, study it from your home country online, and when the travel restrictions will be lifted on, and then you can come to Canada. Foreign nationals, students, after completing their studies in Canada, they get a postgrad work permit. It is an open work permit. They can work anywhere at any level. Maximum duration of the work permit is 3 years, depending on your course. If your course is 1-year course, you will get 1-year work permit. If your course is of 2 years or more, you will get 3 years work permit. This is the maximum. And this work permit is a one-time opportunity in life. You cannot apply for another work permit in future. This postgrad work permit gives international students an opportunity to acquire valuable Canadian experience and then apply for Canadian immigration and permanent residence under the different streams of immigration. We have agreements with several K-12 schools, universities, and colleges where we can place students and we get commission for them. So if you have any student who wants to study in Canada and you cannot place them, you don't have the agreement, talk to us. We can definitely help you with their placement. Student visa refusal. This is a very important slide basically. Foreign nationals, they have an assumption that Canadian student visa success rate is quite low. There are different factors for that. One of the factors is the use of artificial intelligence in the student visa decision-making process. Artificial intelligence is the use of computer to decide your visa application. This is now maybe a very unique thing for you, that how the computer is making a decision on a student visa application, but this is happening. The use of artificial intelligence has been in practice for some time, since 2013-14 in Canada, and this has been applied in India and China for student visa applications. And there are a lot of things to be discussed, that can be discussed about this, but one very important thing, that sometimes good quality students, they are refused due to the use of artificial intelligence. So in that case, in that scenario, what we do, we help the students in applying for their refusal notes, and after that we can write a reconsideration letter to the post manager to review the application. If the application is strong enough and we believe it can be resolved by a reconsideration request, we do that. Otherwise, we can resubmit an application with an explanation of the objections, and we have been very successful in that. When we resubmit the application, the student visa application, we have got success for several of our clients. This is important to note, that if a Canadian student visa application is refused, don't consider the chapter is over. No, we have the ways, we can help you with the resubmission, and we have several success stories where we have secured visas for good quality students in getting their visa second time. And some of our students have given reviews on our website as well, and on Google as well. The last resort will be the judicial review in federal court, if we believe the application is strong enough and the officer has made a decision which is not according to the law. Workers and work permit. So a lot of people, they inquire about the work in Canada. Foreign nationals, they get work permit for Canada only for those occupations and professions in which there is shortage in Canada. Canadians are not available to do that job, or in that location, people or Canadians are not available to do that job. So only in such cases, foreign nationals are invited to work in Canada. Initially, the work permit is for 2 years, and it can be then extended. After 1 year of experience or 6 months of experience, it depends on the category and the type, applicants can apply for the PR. As we discussed earlier, there are opportunities. You can apply for a work permit. Once you are in Canada, you get a job offer, get a work permit, and start working here under the Atlantic Immigration Program, under the Rural and Northern Immigration Program, and maybe under the Express Entry if you have submitted your application. So if you get a job offer, have a work permit, you can start working here. Often there is a catch in the market. People say that they are getting open work permit for foreign nationals. So keep in mind, there is no such thing for foreign nationals to apply for an open work permit to come to Canada and work openly, except for certain categories. that spouses of international students, they get open work permit. Spouses of work permit holders, they get open work permit. Post-grad work permit is an open work permit. And spouses of post-grad work permit holders, they get open work permit. And applicant who in Canada whose PR application is in under process, they get an open work permit, and that is a bridging open work permit. So only these kind of people get open work permit of Canada. Otherwise, no other foreign national can get an open work permit of Canada. Okay. One more category is refugees who are in Canada. They also get open work permit to work anywhere in Canada. And maybe there is another one category of temporary resident permit holders who are in Canada, and they get the open work permit. Otherwise, from abroad, there is no such thing of an open work permit like in some other countries. No, it is not like here in Canada. Visitors. So foreign nationals, they can come to Canada or tourism purpose or business purpose, business meetings, exploratory visits, family visits. So these are the different types of visitor visas which the foreign nationals can avail. The length of the visitor visa is up to the expiry of your passport. If your passport is valid up to 10 years, you can get the maximum 10 years visitor visa. This is the 10 years is the maximum validity of a Canadian visitor visa. However, you are allowed to stay in Canada for 6 months at one time. After 6 months, either you need to leave Canada or you can apply for an extension of stay in Canada. Normally, people, they can get 1, 2, or 3 extensions very easily. After that, they have to prove that there is a genuine reason for their stay in Canada, due to which they can get another extension like that. So it is possible for people to come to Canada and stay here for 6 months and get their stay extended, but they are not allowed to work in Canada. They can study in short-term courses of less than 6 months on a visitor visa, but they cannot attend any course which goes beyond the 6 months duration. That for that purpose, then we help them to apply for the study permit. And family visitors visiting your parents, sisters, brothers, siblings, like that, parents, grandparents, you can visit any family member here in Canada. Maybe friends as well. We have done several cases in which we secured visas for meeting with a friend. So, but that depends on your country of origin. Uh, Parents super visa is another category. Parents of Canadian and citizens and permanent residents, they can come and live here for consecutive 2 years without the requirement of extending their stay after 6 months. For this, the Canadian has to prove their income, and they have to purchase insurance for their parents. These were the different categories under which foreign nationals can apply for Canadian visa and immigration permanent residence. Then there are a lot of immigration matters in which we can help you and your clients. Sometimes if you have submitted an application, a temporary resident application or a permanent residence application, you get a procedural fairness letter. That is an opportunity for you if the visa officer has identified some mistake or some forgery in your application, and they give you, at that point they give you an opportunity to respond before they can refuse, and they refuse your application. So we help you with the drafting of the application. We have done so many cases and got succeeded for the client. So we help with the drafting of the procedural fairness letter with the legal references, etc. from here. Then applicants, Canadian permanent residents who got their permanent residence and then went abroad and then didn't return, didn't fulfill their residency obligation, they have issues. They need to either apply for the PR card renewal or permanent resident travel document, or they have been under the residency obligation litigation in the Immigration Appeal Division. So in that case, we help them. We represent them in before the tribunal at the Immigration and Refugee Board, and that is a legal litigation process. And we help them. We represent the clients, and we have been successful in winning so many cases under these categories. Sponsor appeals: if you have sponsored any of your family member, we discussed earlier, and the application has been refused, we help them with the filing of an appeal and representing them in the Immigration Appeal Division. Yeah, immigration appeals are the same, the sponsorship appeals and other matters. Refugee appeals: if a refugee has filed a claim and the claim has been refused, then the next stage is the appeal of the claim. So we help them filing the appeal. We represent them in the appeal division, refugee appeal division, RAD, which is called RAD, RAD. So we represent them before the refugee appeal division, and we help them with this entire process of the refugee claim, except the federal court representation, where only lawyers are allowed to represent. Immigration consultants, they are not allowed for the federal court. In all the other tribunals and immigration applications, we can represent the client. Citizenship application for a Canadian who is abroad, we can help you with the filing of that citizenship application. Passport application for Canadians who are abroad, passport for themselves, passport for their children. If your visa application or PR application has been refused, we can help you apply for the refusal notes, and any other matter that relates to Canadian immigration, visa, etc. We can help you with that process, any category of Canadian visa and immigration. Next slide is about our procedures. Now, this is important for our recruitment partners, how we process the client applications, which our recruitment partners refer us. So initially, we do a free assessment of the client's profile. Assessment is on an online form or a paper form. The online form is available on our website, which is www.euroconsultants.ca. Paper form we have, you email us and we will respond to you with the paper form. So both the forms are accepted, and we can respond to you on with the free assessment of the applicant's profile. Then after that, if the client is eligible, we can do a meeting. I will do a meeting with the client. It depends. The meeting may be paid or unpaid, depending on the type of the case. So the meeting rate is $200. If it can be 100 or 200, depending on the complexity and type of the case. All the meetings are over the Zoom. Once the client decides to retain our services, we send them our retainer agreement as per the Canadian laws. All cases which we accept are by retainer agreement. At that point, along with signing the application and the retainer agreement, client pays us our initial fee. We charge our fee in 2 to 5 installments, depending on the type of the application. Our procedure for student admissions: if you have any student who wants to study in Canada, send us the documents on admissions@euroconsultants.ca. Include the students' all diplomas, degrees, transcripts, mark sheets, their IELTS or other acceptable test score, copy of their passport, updated resumes, and 2 academic reference letters for university admissions. All these documents should be scanned original. We do not accept any photocopies. Attested photocopies are not accepted for scanned document purposes. Only original documents should be scanned and sent to us. We have an application management system as well for our own clients and for our associates. We give you access to our associates on that online portal, and you can you can register your clients in that portal. You need to submit all the client profile, client data in that portal. Each associate gets a dedicated login for that. You will upload your client's documents there. You can track progress on your client's application. You can track payment record of for your particular client, track application status and work done on the application, and everything is through one login for all your clients through one login. We have an online customer relationship management system as well, which is an online meeting arrangement system through Visita. It's a purchased version. We pay annual subscription for this, which is connected with Zoom, our Zoom account, which is also a purchased account. So we do all meetings with our clients over Zoom, and we record the meeting for future tracking purpose. So we do record all the meetings recorded so that we can trace and track them in future. We have accounting software as well through which all the client payments are recorded, and invoices are sent to the clients, payments receipts are sent to the clients, and we maintain all the records in our accounting software. I understand some of you are registered with us, but if some of you are not registered and you want to be our associate, please email us on agents@euroconsultants.ca. We will send you an agent registration form, paper form, which is also available on our website. So you can complete that form, send us, we will send you an agent agreement, and then you can start working. Those agents who are registered with us, we will give you a training on our agents portal as well, how you can create the client account, how you can do the registrations in your account, and how you can upload the documents. So we will give a training. Our next training will be on that in near future. So if you have any query, you can email me directly on ceo@euroconsultants.ca. My WhatsApp number is here. +1 is the country code for Canada. 905-399-8620 is my WhatsApp and cell number. You can connect with me. If you have any query, you can book a meeting with me. We can talk, discuss, and we are at your disposal. We can help you with any client who wants immigration to Canada or come to Canada. So now we will be taking questions. If you have any question, please raise your hand or let us know. We will unmute you and we can take the questions for any discussion. Let me first answer some questions which we have received. One question is that if a visitor in Canada can convert to a study permit, yes. A visitor in Canada can be converted to a study permit in Canada. There is one thing, we process the application online and we get the approval. For getting the permit, we take the applicant to Canada-US border and we do the flag pooling. We take a U-turn on the border, and at the Canadian port, we get the study permit. So that is possible. Not these days, Canada-US borders are closed these days, but normally, yes, we can do that. Another question is, someone has asked for the slides. Okay, we will help you with that. Email us so that we can send you these slides. If blood sister is in Canada, then can she be sponsored? Sponsor for what? She can be sponsored for parents, but for siblings, as I told earlier, only orphaned siblings abroad can be sponsored. One of my client, I did her case, and she had a orphaned nephew, basically nephew come brother. Her review is available on my YouTube channel. She is a Filipino, and I did her case. It was complicated. She had received a procedural fairness letter, and then I helped her with the application with lots of tons of documents, and the visa officer was then convinced, and her nephew's visa was approved. What about fine arts, painter, teaching art? Uh, Painters, yes, we can consider if you have paintings, if you have done a display of your paintings at international level. So yes, it can be done. If you can discuss this case with us, we will. Iram Khan has posted this. We can discuss this case individually and then let you know on its own merits. Fee structure. We will share the fee structure. It is different for different categories. Parminder Singh has asked this. Let us know for which category you require the fee structure. Our fee structure varies from 1,000 to 20,000, depending on the category. The highest category is the investor category, for which we charge 20,000. For a visitor visa, we charge 1,000. Fee structure, Thomas Alexander has also asked. So let us know for which category. Someone asked if a person has 200,000, can he apply 200,000 net worth or assets or in cash, and under which category he wants to apply? Mohammed Suleiman. We will share the presentation with you for your knowledge. Please email us, and we will we can give you the video recording of this whole presentation, where you will get a better idea. So let us know, and we will share the link of the video recording. Hamza Shahid has asked for the study visa applying program. So yes, Hamza, we can help you with the study visa application. We arrange the admission of the student in a suitable program. Then we file the student visa application. All the visas are filed from head office in Canada, and I submit all the applications myself. And I have to utilize my 20 years experience in each application. So each applicant gets my dedicated attention and my full skills. My 20 years experience is given to my clients. Okay, and if you have any other question, please post it here, and we can help you. Owner operator category, no, it should be 250 to 300,000 investment, and definitely they should have net worth of maybe 500,000. Any other question? If you have, you can post it here and group chat. I will be happy to answer. Or if you have any other question, you may contact us directly. You can email me. Here is my email and my cell number. You can contact me directly, and I will be happy to respond to you. And if you want to, if you are not registered as yet with us and have not received our agreement, please email to agents@euroconsultants.ca. We will reply to you. Someone has asked for the commission, so email us. We will send you the agreement which has all these details. If the commission, whatever we receive from the institutions, we share that 50. We share our commission, which is normally 10% or 15%. So mostly 15%. We share half of that. Commission can go up to 10% as well to you. You can get 10% of the full first year fee in some circumstances, where because with some institutions we have a quota where if we achieve that target, we have a different percentage level. So we can offer you up to 10% of the commission for certain programs. If a person has its own admission directly in Canadian college, then how much do you charge? Okay, so for study permit, we charge 1,500 Canadian dollars to represent the client to file the application completely. If a student, there are different levels basically. If a student wants to get full services, our premium services, then yes, we will charge full. If the 1,500 fee. If they want only a review of the file, that will be 500 only. But for submission, representation, everything, we will charge 1,500. And student visa from Australia. So who is on a bridging visa there? Yes, it depends what kind of course the student wants to proceed, and we have to make a good case for them, Parvinder. So we have to make a good case, and they can be provincial for electrical trade. We have to see even in the electrical there are different categories, industrial or home or like that. So we have to see Gurmore Sandhu. So it depends which type of electrical category is that. If any child is like 9th grade child got admission in Canada, so guardian can go with child. Yes, if they have sufficient funds, source of income at back, yes, the guardian can come. Irfan Hassan. Any other question, please put up here. Okay, due to Corona, is there any difficulty for temporary visa visitors work? Yes, due to Corona, there are a lot of things here. Let me sum up those. Currently, there are the visas are on hold. No visas, even those visas which were issued before March 18, 2020, they have been suspended. Recently, the government allowed parents and family members of Canadians who have the visa to come to Canada, or the spouses to get a visa and come to Canada. Then visitors, no, and not at this point of time. Workers, no, not at this point of time. Students, only depends if your course requires in-class presence during the fall intake, then yes. Otherwise, no. Even if you have a visa, no. You cannot come to Canada because there are travel restrictions at this point of time. Once the travel restrictions are lifted, then visa holders, they will be allowed to come to Canada. We are optimistic that things are gradually loosening here. So we are optimistic by December things will be normalized. Parminder, yes, student with a spouse and kid, yes, we do process such cases. Students can apply with a spouse and kids. They have the opportunity to apply together, and they get the permit. So many foreign students they are here, but again, depends on the case. A lot of things are involved. Their previous student history in Australia will be counted, whether they followed all their conditions, etc. So we have to consider a case. And her case refused here for student visa, so therefore her case is the judicial court, please. Yes, it's now student visa refused. I believe the student might not have followed 8202 in Australia, the condition to attend the college. This is what I believe. So if he didn't follow that there, and why he didn't follow, then we have to consider this case on a special case, and only then we will advise we should take or not. Yes, email me, Parminder, email me, and I will be happy to review her background, and then we will see what we can do. If the student is going to college, has been regular, followed the conditions of the visa 8202, then I don't think there will be any problem. Any other question, please ask so that we can discuss, and these are informative for you as well. We still have 5 minutes to complete because this session was supposed to be 1.5 hours. So 5 to 7 minutes probably are here. If you have any question, feel free to ask here, and I will be happy to respond. So if I understand some of you have joined late, email us. We will send you link of this whole presentation. You can watch at your convenience. And secondly, those of you who have not signed up the registration, the agreement with us, you can send us an email on agents@euroconsultants.ca. We will respond to you with the registration form and the agreement. Okay, now we have a question. What is possibility of January intake in Canada? Yes, we are accepting and we are submitting applications. Even we are submitting applications for September at the moment, Ziaur Rahman, because this September will be online, and we are submitting the applications. Thomas, and corresponding details about pricing, so I can. Okay, we will. Thomas, I will appreciate if you can email me directly. We will send you the link of the presentation, the whole video presentation, and we will send you. Please let us know for which category do you require the fee structure. So we will send you the fee structure for that. If someone can apply for PR there, yes, PR, we help them. Parminder, I am unable to understand the exact question, Parminder, but PR we can apply. Students can apply for PR. Can Pakistani and Indians can apply for farm workers, fruit pickers, and no, they cannot apply. Gurmore, my brother-in-law and Punjabi film producer. Can you please send full processing? Yes, Gurmore, email me. I will review the profile and I will guide how he can be, because Punjabi films, they are watched here, and they are watched internationally basically. So yes, very possible. Let's discuss this case. Any other question, please? Have you ever provided service? I have done a few cases, Chinese cases, but cases are pretty standard. We don't have any problem. No, we can help Chinese students. That is not an issue. I did help a few Chinese during, I think, 4 or 5 cases, students and some other immigration matters in here. I remember, but there is no issue dealing with Chinese or any other nationality. We have pretty standard training, so we can deal people of any color, any creed, any nationality. If you see my YouTube channel, you will find people from different nationalities. I had successful clients from South America who was a Spanish speaker, and you can see from the language that he is Colombian, and he was a Spanish speaker, and I did his spousal sponsorship, his case. I have another case from Europe, from Greece. So I did his spousal sponsorship. I had a case from Caribbean. You can see on my Facebook, on my YouTube channel, Caribbean people for whom I did a case. I have people from America for whom I did the case. I have people from UK whose cases are in process, and several Indian Pakistanis. Yes, my YouTube channel is with my name, Ahmed Junaid Salek, Euro Consultants. If you don't find, send me an email. I will send you the link of my YouTube channel. If you have any question, yeah, feel free to contact us. You have our email, my email, and we will be happy. So any other question? We have 2 minutes left to complete this session. So I'm happy to answer any question. So this is right time to process any student admission application for January 2021 intake. If you have any students, send us their documents on admissions@euroconsultants.ca. We will review their profile, their grades, and we will advise whether we can do their admission for university or college. Most university programs, they start in September, so now we will target September 2021. Some programs are, however, available in the winter intake, which is the Jan intake. So we can submit the uh, application for Jan as well. Colleges have flexible intakes, mostly September, about 80% in January, and up to some extent for the May intake. Okay, the question is which state is easy for student for PR or visa? Okay, so the highest visa success rates are for Ontario province, for BC, for Quebec, because these are the three most populous provinces of Canada. Their visa success rate is the highest. Smaller provinces have higher visa success rate because they have limited opportunities. That is why. In Then we have communities where they have better programs for future immigration, as I told earlier, under the regional immigration program. So students, if they study in those communities, they will have the better options. Uh, the easier for student visa means where there is demand. If you see the DLI list, Ontario, BC, and Quebec, they have the most institutions with them, or more majority of the universities, colleges, career colleges, they are working in these three provinces. Smaller provinces have smaller population, little population, and a limited number of institutions, universities and colleges, because they universities and colleges were or they are established according to the demand of that community. So little demand, fewer number of institutions. Um, and this will get jobs easily. Yes, there are job opportunities, and students they do get job. Spouse is allowed to do 20 hours job. A lot of people there are a lot of jobs here. That is not an issue. Getting a visa easily for people coming from Nigeria. Getting a PR is again a different thing, which is easier. We can't say easier or tough. Each province has its own dynamics. If the applicant qualifies under the federal program, so the federal program is the most competitive. Otherwise, then there are different provinces, provincial programs, regional programs, under which the applicant can apply according to his or her profile. So, Obianuju, please contact us with the client profile, and we will assess and advise you how we can take the application. IELTS requirements are pretty standard across Canada. They are even majority or all the community colleges. If a student is coming from an SDS country, they community colleges they don't accept students who do not fulfill the SDS requirements. They can join the ESL program. In the program, IELTS is low. So if the IELTS is low, they can be taken in the ESL. But sometimes even they don't take in the ESL. The SDS countries students in the ESL. Any other question? Or we are now, it's 10 o'clock here. We are going to finish our session. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. And if you need a link of the whole video presentation, please write to us and we will send you the link for the presentation. Thank you very much. and bye bye for today. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend.